Hi guys, welcome to the first lesson on the course. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you the basic anatomy when drawing elderly people. You'll see that some things are different in the shape of the body and the pose. It's interesting to study this to understand the human body in all its stages. So let's take a look. Let's begin by comparing the bodies of an adult with that of an elderly person. Here in this phase, we'll just block the character. I want to focus mainly on the spine and how the back works in both cases. We'll see the male body first. The first thing we need to do is draw the thorax and the pelvis. The character is in profile, so this way we can see how the spine works. As you see, I'm placing the elements in order and I'm making the pose straight and simple. The spine is completely straight. We want a standard pose so you can see how the spine changes with age. With a darker pencil, I'll highlight the spine so you can see the shape. Now, with red, I'll draw the direction of the spine next to the character so you can see it clearly. Okay, let's move on to the older person's body. We'll sketch in blocks just like we did for the adult. The thorax and the pelvis, as you see, are folded over each other, making a C shape on the spine. As we get older, the spine starts to bend. That's why an older person's pose tends to be more hunched than a younger person, and that's the effect we're looking for now. The head inclines forward because of the curvature of the spine, and the position of the shoulders moves forward too. I'll highlight the spine in black once again so you can see that curve. Now, in red, I'll draw the curve of the spine to one side so you can compare it to the one of the adult figure. As you can see, there's a big difference. One follows a normal curvature, but the other bends quite a lot. We'll do the same with the woman's figure. There are some differences, as when we're drawing, we usually make the woman's spine curve inwards more to show the hips. It's not really correct anatomically speaking, but when we draw, we like to make our characters as interesting as possible. So, just as before, we'll draw the thorax and the pelvis, then we'll move on to the legs and the head. Again, I'll highlight the spine in black. With red, I'll draw it next to the figure so we can compare it afterwards with the rest of the spines. Now let's move on to the old lady's figure. Like for the male body, we'll fold the thorax and the pelvis over, making the C shape. The chest is slightly fallen. Carry on drawing the legs and the head slightly inclined due to the curvature of the spine. I'll highlight the spine in black. And in red, I'll draw the spine separately again, and you can now compare it to the rest of the drawings. Take a look at the difference between all of the figures. Study the poses and grab a pencil and paper to continue. We're going to draw 4 characters, sketched quickly so you can see how we can get different body types when we're drawing elderly people. Let's start with the first one, which will make a female. We'll just do the blocking right now. Our first character's head is joined to her shoulders. This is a good resource for older or larger characters, as the shoulders are usually moved forward and the spine curved. The knees should be lighter or more bent, as they're worn down over time and they need to support the weight of the hunched up back. It's fun to play around with the different body shapes and sizes to add some style to your drawings. In my case, the legs are very straight in comparison to the body, but I think that adds a nice touch. For the next character, we'll draw the spine and the rest of the body bent over like we did previously. Tilt the head forward following the curvature of the spine. The weight of the figure will be supported by the stick and the bent legs. It's important we place the support points correctly so the character doesn't appear to fall. The ankles need to coincide vertically with the head to support the body correctly. There are lots of possibilities to try out. Tall, short, fat, thin. Just play around and experiment. As you can see, for the next sketch, I've straightened the spine slightly and the legs. But there should always be a little curvature, so it's clear that the character is not a young adult, but someone older, where the strain of time is noticeable, particularly on the back. Exaggerating your characters is always a good idea if you want the drawing to be immediately understood. You can also try changing the poses around, like the position of an arm or a leg. Again, just experiment. Now the 4 characters are composed, let's add some detail to give them a little bit more personality. Let's add a fallen chest to the first one so we can tell it's an older woman. Then we'll add a bun to the top of her head. Try to find common hairstyles for elderly people to add those important details to your characters. I'll draw a square face and add the facial features along with some wrinkles so the age of the character is more obvious. We could add some details like the stick here going through the bun that could indicate our character is Asian, so we can also play with that when we add the clothing. Let's give our old lady a kimono. Adjust the length of the dress and then add some more details like the neck or the sash. Add some more information to the anatomy like on the knees. We can also add the shoes with socks. So our Asian style grandma is finished. Now let's move on to the next character. For this one, we'll add hair all around the head, leaving a bald spot in the middle. We'll also place the trousers above the waist at the height of the abdomen. Give him a short sleeve t-shirt and let some of the folds come out of the trousers. Draw the facial features, adding a beard and trying out a square-shaped face. Adjust the final anatomical details like the hands and the stick to finish this sketch. Okay, let's move on. Now we'll go with another lady. We'll give this lady a dress that goes below the knees. I'll give her short hair, and maybe with a bit of a quiff. It's common for older women to have shorter hair, so you can use that when drawing your characters. Let's give her warm facial features with a friendly expression. And we'll also add some wrinkles to show her age. Add some volume to the arms and legs, and maybe we could give her some slippers. That's that lady finished, so now we'll draw our final character. We'll give this old man a flat cap, as it's also quite common for older men to wear hats. Let's give him a big moustache. I'll give him a large shirt and trousers that go up to his stomach. Remember that sometimes older people might dress differently to younger people, so bear that in mind. We can add small details, like the pockets on the trousers. Go over the anatomy of the legs and the other volumes to make them clearer, as well as the arms and the walking stick. We now have 4 characters completed. You can see the differences we find when drawing older characters and how their bodies work. In the next lesson, we'll learn more in depth how to draw facial features and wrinkles. So I hope you're enjoying the course so far, and I'll see you for the next lesson.